Morris Harper III studied the report in front of him, supplied by the private detective he'd hired, sitting opposite. Morris frowned, raising his bushy grey eyebrows periodically as he mulled over the salient points listed on the first page of the extensive report once more. A single malt scotch in a crystal tumbler remained untouched upon a mahogany desk, with an intricate relief carving of a European forest scene, complete with deer, below the glass surface. Tim Jeffries allowed his eyes to roam the immediate vicinity without moving his head, while his client studied the documents. He had entered the ostentatious penthouse office an hour earlier. After placing the manila folder on the desk, he'd accepted the prophet's seat, without the offer of refreshment, in silence. A silence he would retain for however long the CEO of Harper Industries deemed necessary. Never before had he witnessed a client taking such meticulous care to scrutinise every word and picture provided in one of his reports. Although he employed every effort to remain as still as a statue, he failed. "Someplace else you would rather be, Mr. Jeffries?" asked Morris, casually peering at his gold Rolex. "No, sir, Mr. Harper, not at all," replied Tim, with more than a hint of embarrassment. Harper was paying Tim more money than he had ever imagined for such a simple task. Thinking he had mastered any impatience he felt over how long it was taking the client to read through the report, Tim reprimanded himself. The reward would be worth every second of his wait. Harper Industries, should the senior executive choose to offer him further contracts, would see Tim Jeffries affording a lifestyle to which he had only ever aspired. It wouldn't be as grand as that of the illustrious Morris Harper III, admittedly, but still far more comfortable than he had ever thought possible. The distinguished gentleman in his bespoke Italian-made suit leaned back in his wing-back leather chair, causing Tim to regain some hope that their meeting was approaching a conclusion, and he could take his fat cheque around the corner and count the new zeros in his ailing bank account. Just as it seemed the old man might be finished, the report was raised once more. The arm bearing the gleaming Rolex, that possibly had cost the owner more than Tim had made in his entire career as a private investigator, shot forward to grasp the glass of scotch. It disappeared behind the report. Tim's eyes wandered around the office once more, taking in several objects d'art and original oil paintings adorning the walls and shelves behind the imposing desk. "You're quite certain my wife has been seeing the same young man for as long as you say? Over a year?" "My photos are all time-stamped, indicating 13 months, yes," replied Tim carefully, avoiding any judgmental tone in his voice. A long, weary sigh escaped the old man as he lowered the report to the desk. His eyes reflected the innate sadness he felt. His spotted hand shook slightly as he sipped the expensive liquor. Morris Harper sighed again. "I can understand it, of course. We haven't been close for a while," he admitted, as he turned his head to peer out of the 20th story window overlooking the heart of Melbourne. "Do you have children, Mr. Jeffries?" No, sir. Never married and never would have desired children if I had." "Well, for someone who wishes to have children more than anything in the world, it'll drive that person to do almost anything in the world. I wasn't able to give her any, you see?" asked Morris rhetorically. "Late case of mumps would pay to that. We didn't know, though, when we married, I mean. Didn't find out till much later, when I finally agreed to some tests the doctors requested," said Morris wistfully.